August always feels like a season between seasons. The garden is still full, but if you look closely, you can see the first whispers of autumn. Cooler mornings, light falling a little softer, the first leaves drifting down without a sound. Like a turning of the page, the colors of nature begin to weave an autumnal tapestry, only just beginning to take shape in a gentle rhythm that can be seen in subtle ways around me. As summer drifts softly towards its close, I've been savoring these last golden days, the way the light filters through the trees, the garden still offering its gifts, and the hush of change in the air. It felt only fitting to gather a few late summer peaches and turn them into something simple and rustic in the kitchen. This galette has become one of my favorite ways to celebrate the sweetness of the season. Flaky golden pastry, peaches kissed with honey, and just a touch of warmth that hints at autumn on its way. I'll share the full recipe and the complete baking film over on my Patreon if you'd like to join me there for the whole experience. For now, I'll just give you a little peek before we head back outside to the garden. As the galette bakes away in the oven, filling the cottage with the scent of peaches and honey, I step outside once more. The air is shifting, softer and cooler, and it feels like the perfect time to gather some rosemary from the garden. There's such a comfort in these small seasonal rhythms, baking with what's ripe, preserving what can be saved, and letting the garden slowly guide the pace of each day. One of my favorite ways to use rosemary is by making a simple hair tea. Fresh or dried, the sprigs are steeped in hot water and cooled into a rinse that leaves my hair soft and shiny while gently cleansing the scalp. Bringing in sprigs of rosemary to dry is a simple ritual, but one that always makes me feel connected to the season, storing up little bits of summer to carry with me into autumn. Proof that the garden offers gifts beyond the kitchen. Hi friends, Molly and I here. We're actually getting ready to head into town to go to Hobby Lobby. Tomorrow I actually have a market down in Jacksonville, so I need to stop by my bank to get a little bit of change and also make sure that I have enough fuel in the truck for getting down there. But the fun thing that we're looking forward to doing is stopping by at Hobby Lobby. They have a couple of things on sale that I want to look at in particular. So I thought that I'd bring you along with me and we'd go on in, see what they've got, and just try to get back home before the sun goes down. So come along with us and we'll hit the road. I've had it in my heart for months now to start a journal, and today felt like the right time to go searching for the perfect one. We wandered through Hobby Lobby together, Molly happily sniffing the air as I browsed the shelves, and at last I found it, a beautiful leather-bound journal, marked down on sale as though it had been waiting just for me. I also stumbled across the sweetest mustard gold plates tucked away in the clearance aisle, technically from the spring collection, but to me they felt perfectly autumnal. It felt like a little treasure hunt, and a successful one at that. And with the journal in hand, I knew it was the perfect time to begin the project I've been dreaming of, creating a gardener's journal. Good morning, friends. I'm in my studio this morning, just in here getting ready to be a little creative, hopefully. Get started on a project that I've been wanting to do all spring and summer, and that is to get started making a gardener's journal. I have my beautiful leather-bound journal here that I'm going to break in, hopefully. Have a few ideas of how I want to set it up. I think it'll make a great reminder from season to season of what I've got going on in my garden, and from one spring to the next, hopefully keep me a little bit more on track and keep me better organized with things that I've got growing out there in some of my garden beds. Not to mention, it's a really great hobby, journaling is, and it's just a great skill to have too. It's a great skill to develop. The creative muscle is something that we need to continue to exercise, and I really feel like journaling is a great opportunity for us to do that. And I just wanted to pop on here and thank you for being with me this morning as I get started on this new endeavor, and not really sure how far I'll get with it, but I'm very excited to get started nonetheless. So let's get out our creativity and see where it takes us. As the weather has been a little bit cooler, I've been spending more mornings wandering around the little corners of my woodland cottage, collecting leaves, flowers, and other bits of botanicals for my gardening journal. It's become a gentle ritual, taking a slow walk, noticing the subtle colors and textures of each plant, and thinking about how I want to capture them on the page. I decided to start journaling with focus on my garden and the nature around me because I wanted something purposeful yet playful, a hobby that's creative, calming, and connected to the seasons. It's not about perfection. It's about the joy of noticing, recording, and celebrating the little details that make home feel alive. To help me bring this idea to life, I've been leaning on Skillshare. Learning a few techniques here and there has made the whole process feel so much richer. And that's part of the magic, blending curiosity, creativity, and a little bit of learning into a quiet moment that's all my own. Something I've been reminding myself lately is that you don't need to travel far or have fancy equipment to learn something beautiful. Sometimes the best kinds of growth happen right at home, in the quiet. And that's also why I've been enjoying the Skillshare platform. It's an online library filled with thousands of creative classes you can do at your own pace. There are classes on watercolor painting, seasonal baking, nature journaling, photography, even gentle gardening techniques. Things that make home life feel more meaningful. I've wanted to start a gardener's journal for over a year. And thanks to Skillshare, I finally feel inspired and equipped to begin this gentle, creative journey without feeling overwhelmed. One of the classes I love is called Get Started in Nature Journaling by Helen Colebrook, and it helped me find my footing and build my first journal pages. Everything from leaf printing to whimsical flowers and botanical sketches. A lot of these classes help guide me through choosing materials and building a daily habit of observing and sketching. Another favorite is Nature Journal, Drawing Ideas for Autumn by Julia Bausenhart, and it inspired me artistically with her drawings of colorful leaves, berries, and little mushrooms, all with a soft seasonal touch. And it felt so wonderful to get my watercolor paints out again and just put the brush to paper. It's been so meditative, having a physical journal to work on and capturing the season's rhythms. If this feels calming to you and you're ready to explore some classes on your own, the first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan the QR code will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Start today and let's explore a world of learning and inspiration together. One of my favorite parts of this season is preparing the garden for the months ahead, and today's project feels like such a hopeful one. I'm assembling a new elevated garden bed from Vago Garden, simple to put together, thoughtfully designed in sturdy metal and even on wheels so it can follow the light. Another beautiful raised bed to tend, one that will carry my gardening goals gently into autumn and beyond. Hey guys, I'm back again. It's the late afternoon now and it's still quite warm, but I've had a chance to rest. We've just kind of been spending the past few hours resting, getting some good relaxation on a Sunday. We had some iced coffees. And now I feel ambitious to get back out here again. I really think that I can finish. I'm excited to finish. So let's get back to our project and see if we can see the final result here very soon. Good morning, friends. Thank you all for being here at my cottage with Molly and I this morning. We're very excited to get back to our gardening project. Both my pumpkin seeds and my sunflower seeds have been germinating for I think it's 5 days now, and so they're ready to go into the ground for sure. They're already starting to open up and have little sprouts on them, so I'm excited to get those opened up and see what we've got to work with. I want to get the potting soil put into the raised bed so that I can get the seeds planted. And I also want to open up the wall trellis system that was sent with the garden bed. I've not even opened that yet. That trellis will be perfect for the pumpkins to climb on as they mature and as the vines get larger down the road. We'll go ahead and work on those few things before it gets too hot. So let's get started, y'all. There's something deeply comforting about slow, deliberate work, the kind of task that doesn't ask for hurry, only presence. As I piece together this trellis system, it feels less like building a structure and more like shaping a promise. Each bolt and piece of frame is a small investment in what's to come, a gentle preparation for the climbing plants that will someday wind their way upwards seeking the light. Gardening always reminds me that growth needs something to lean on. We all do. Just as a vine needs a trellis to stretch towards the sky, our own hopes and goals need steady supports, habits, rhythms, rituals that help us grow in the right direction. This season, as summer softens into autumn, I find myself thinking more about those supports. The quiet routines that hold me steady. The faith practices, the morning walks, the time spent journaling, all the things that become a framework for growth, even when I don't notice it day to day. Building this trellis is simple work, but it carries within it a kind of metaphor for the whole garden, and perhaps for life itself. To grow well, we prepare the ground, we offer something to hold on to, and then we trust the rest to unfold in its own time. Once the frame is ready, the next step is giving it life, layer by layer, bag by bag. I always love this part, the moment when the soil finds its new home. I also like to sprinkle in some balanced 10-10-10 fertilizer to make the soil rich and nutrient dense, while providing a balanced ratio of 3 primary macronutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, that most plants need to grow and thrive. For seeds like pumpkin and sunflower, which are hard seeds, it's a good idea to germinate them first. So I simply place them on a damp paper towel and add the seeds to Ziploc bags for 5 days up to a week. This lets them sprout and gives them a head start. After all of the soil has been poured in, I like to build up little mounds, each one like a promise of what's waiting beneath. Into these, I tuck my pumpkin seeds 4 at a time so that when they begin to grow, I can choose the strongest, letting them carry the season forward. Beside them, I'm planting sunflowers, 2 varieties, because I just couldn't resist the thought of golden faces rising up alongside the sugar pumpkins. It's been raining all afternoon. It's actually a little bit cozy. Another favorite late summer ritual is saving seeds from my marigolds. Each dried bloom holds a tiny pod, and when you open it up, dozens of seeds are tucked neatly inside. Deadheading marigold blooms regularly is a great way to encourage new growth and keep the plants looking healthy. I've been collecting the spent flowers for weeks, and now I have such an abundance to carry forward into next year's garden. It's such a simple practice, but a meaningful one. Saving money, yes, but also keeping the cycle of growth going in a sustainable, hands-on way. This garden Velcro is a tool I never knew I needed, yet one that makes these small acts of care a little easier. The zinnias and marigolds are not the only ones asking for attention here. My pothos vine has become a wild and winding presence in this garden bed. Its rich, waxy leaves spill over the trellis, tumbling in every direction as though eager to claim the air itself. With the garden Velcro, I can gently guide its growth, encouraging the vines to weave upward, curling gracefully along the structure. And there's something very satisfying in coaxing a plant's path, allowing it to follow its own instinct, yet shaping it just enough to bring a touch of order to its wildness. The pothos now frames the trellis with a kind of quiet elegance. There's a certain tenderness in tending what has grown tall and unruly. The zinnias and marigolds have stretched themselves towards the sun, leaning into the wind with such abandon, and now it's my time to guide them back gently with this simple garden Velcro. In the backyard, we're going to visit my new garden bed, only to find that much progress has occurred in just 3 weeks' time. The pumpkin vines have begun their wild sprawl, giant leaves reaching over edges, curling and climbing, determined to claim their space. I tied them back with patience, giving shape to their wildness while still allowing them freedom to thrive. Soon the garden will rest and we'll settle into autumn's quieter pace, but there's something sweet about these in-between days where summer's warmth and autumn's stillness meet in the middle.